district, but to the nation. I believe that we all have come for the common understanding that this nation is founded on principles of due process and justice, and as well the recognition that we have a system of criminal justice laws, that there are people who will be incarcerated. I'm very glad that I serve on the Judiciary Committee, where my chairman, Chairman Goodlatte, along with Ranking Member Conyers, established an over-criminalization committee. With that in mind, it is to discuss how do you look at laws and be fair to the individual that may be the victim, but also the person that was the perpetrator, or to look at the different charges and various offenses and determine whether or not today, 2014, they are still appropriate. My amendment is an amendment that addresses the question of the existing authority of the Attorney General to manage executive responsibilities under 28 U.S.C. 509 and 28 U.S.C. 509 as it relates to authorizing the performance by any other officer and as it relates to all functions of agencies and employees. It speaks to the question of prison overcrowding, and it's a straightforward, as I indicated. It makes a positive contribution to the problem of overcrowding in our prisons. The United States incarcerates nearly 25% of the world's inmates, even though it only has 5% of the world's population. 30 years ago, there were less than 30,000 inmates in the federal system. Today, there are nearly 216,000, an increase of 800%. Mr. Chairman, I've worked on this issue for almost 2 decades. In the early 1990s, I offered amendments called the Good Time Early Relief legislation to look at providing relief to inmates who had been in the federal system, had reached the age of 45, had in fact not been engaged in any violent crime with a weapon, and had no violent incidences while they were incarcerated, and made the recommendation that we would have an opportunity to release those older inmates. I'm very glad to say that Senator Kennedy had the same kind of legislation, and over the years we managed to get it into the authorization bill. But as I indicated, no other country imprisons a larger percentage of its population. The prison system costs $6.5 billion. That is part of the budget, the appropriations today. My amendment will alleviate this overcrowding by clarifying that nothing in this bill prohibits the Attorney General from exercising his statutory authorities to expand the use of executive clemency to address prison overcrowding and redress sentencing injustices, so long as he does so in a manner consistent with the law and the Constitution. Much of the overcrowding of our federal prison system is a direct and proximate result of a proliferation of offenses carrying mandatory minimums. That is the basis of the overcriminalization task force, and I again applaud the Judiciary Committee. Heretofore, we had the 100-to-1 disparity between crack and powder cocaine. We in the Judiciary Committee changed that along with the Senate. The President signed that legislation. We now know the cost of imprisoning so many nonviolent offenders is fiscally unsustainable and morally unjustifiable. Remember, my emphasis has been that is within the context of the law. And my legislation that I offered before, the Good Time Early Relief, it was for nonviolent offenders. And it will take the combined efforts of policymakers, reform advocates, legal professionals, and private citizens to solve the problem. I can assure you there is a bar of lawyers that are interested in making sure that their clients come under the law and are treated fairly under the law. My legislation, or my amendment, gives life to this question by allowing the Attorney General, whoever it might be, to act within the law. Just quickly, an example of Clarence Aaron of Mobile, Alabama, was arrested in 1992 with 20 kilograms of powder cocaine to distribute it as crack cocaine. It was in 1992. He received an enormous sentence, first-time offender, and he received a life sentence. These are the kinds of issues that can be addressed if we are acting within the law. My amendment simply says to act within the law using the authority that is given and to be able to address these questions of the over-incarcerations of persons and to give people a second chance. I ask my colleagues to support my amendment. Reserve my time.
Gentlelady's time has expired. For what does the gentleman from Virginia seek recognition?
Strike the requisite number of words.
Gentleman is recognized for 5 minutes.
We accept the amendment. We understand it says you must follow the law. We accept the amendment. Yield back the balance of time.
Is on the amendment offered by the gentlelady from Texas. Those in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed say no. In the opinion of the chair, the ayes have it. The amendment is agreed to.
I thank you.